Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? So, quick discussion. Not going to be on this topic long because I'm not an expert on this topic at all. This is something that was brought to my attention a couple different times. I reached out to some people earlier, like my man Mike, Love and Freedom, asked him about it. Urban Globetrotter asked him about it. I left a message with Howard. Haven't heard back from Howard yet. But in this topic, man, you know, medical marijuana. This is a subject where a lot of veterans come to a lot of countries like this because they have easier access to it, and it's a lot more affordable to them than it is in the United States. Well, currently, and I'll bring this bill up real quick. Um, there's a representative in California by the name of Barbara Lee. She brought up a bill that is currently in Congress, right? And this is the bill right here, and the link is to this bill for anybody who wants to take a moment and read this bill. What's going on, Barry? How you doing? For anybody that wants to take time to read the bill, it is the very first link that's up there, and you can read this bill for yourself. This is a real bill that's up in Congress right now. And from my understanding from reading this bill, this is basically a beta test. This is a beta test. They're not trying to federally legalize marijuana. I do not want people to get that interpretation from this bill that they're trying to federally make it legal. That is not what this is about. What's going on, T Mix? How you doing today? This is basically this is a workaround, I should put it that way, of allowing veterans to use marijuana, medical marijuana, or CBD oil, or whatever it is that the doctor prescribes, because this is going to be looked at as therapy. This is similar, in my opinion, to the way they do compensated work therapy. Compensated work therapy is considered therapy so that it does not affect your TDIU, nor does it affect your Social Security. But if you go work in any other capacity, it will. So this is a way that the government skirted that by calling it therapy. This is no different than this current bill that they have right here, that they're allowing certain veterans in states where it is legal. And that's the key thing. Now you need to read this in this bill. It is for veterans in states where it is legal to use medical marijuana. They're allowing them to do it. They're going to be registered, and it's going to be prescribed by a doctor who's going to study the performance of medical marijuana when it comes to helping veterans. All right. Again, I put the link there at the first link in here, or the only link in here right now, is to this bill. And this is a way you can read for yourself what the bill entails. Now, the bill goes through a lot of different numbers when it comes to um, opioids and how opioids are used. It also talks about here chronic pain affects the veteran population, with almost 60% of veterans returning from service, armed forces in the Middle East, and more than 50% of older veterans. Now, here are the numbers when it comes to opioids. Nearly 70% of all drug overdose deaths in the United States are from opioids. That's from the 2018 study, right? And to me, like I said earlier, I believe that this is a beta test setting it up to make certain veterans who use this, because they know it's in your system. When you go do a blood test, they see it in people's systems who use it. Now, I'm going to speak about something that Urban spoke about with me, and it is very true. You know, if you think back to a lot of you guys who were in high school in the late 80s, early 90s, on through on, right? You know, it was always commercials and telling you don't do drugs. If you wanted to play sports, you couldn't do any drugs. You had to take drug tests. They found any drugs in your system, boom, you're automatically kicked off the team. Later on in life, you know, get in the military and do the drug test. You can't be on marijuana. You can't be on any of these things, right? If you were disqualified. Same with your job. You get in an accident in a car, first thing they want to do is drug test you. So they had all these campaign going. it is illegal to do drugs. Don't do drugs. This is what happens to you if you do drugs. Well, 30 years later, or some of you guys 40 years later, here it is. The rules have now changed once again to where now states are making it legal to medically use marijuana. So there's a lot that has changed and gone back and forth. And some people do use that CBD oil. Um, Now I know here when you go to this third party clinic, the HCA, they use a lot of CBD oil. The first time I had it used on me, I had a very weird feeling, a weird sensation. I didn't like it because I've never done drugs like that. I don't smoke any marijuana. I don't use any oils. I don't do any edibles. Hell, I don't even drink alcohol. I just don't like the taste of alcohol. So that was something that I've never gotten into. But I have noticed though, when I do go to that clinic, when I have to see the doctor for the like it's once every 4 months for a visit, there are a lot of people who openly sit there and talk about going to get their supply of marijuana because it is something that is prescribed here. It is something that is openly offered here. When I was in the Dominican Republic, I remember they would openly offer marijuana, medical marijuana, or CBD oils or edibles, and they always had a distributor in those two spots where I was, going to the third party services that offered it freely. Now you had to pay for it. It wasn't something that the VA was going to pay for through FMP, but this is something they pay for, that you pay for. Excuse me. Now with this bill is openly offering marijuana to certain veterans only in states where it is legal. That's the key part that people need to understand. It is where it is legal. So if you're in a state where it is not legal and this bill passes, you're not going to be able to participate in this particular program. It's only going to be in states where it is legal. Now, is this a money grab, which is probably going to be a question for the skeptics? Of course. Of course, it's a money grab. This is a way for the federal government to get involved, to implement some kind of tax on it, and for a way to let these companies and probably some of these representatives, some of these Congress people, they probably own some of these dispensaries that are getting ready to make a boatload of money. And if you read this bill, it says specifically in the bill, states that are legal, that have ways of distributing it, as well as Indian tribes that have ways of distributing it. And it's very specific in the bill. So this is a quick money grab for a lot of different people. And you're probably going to find out later on that some of these Congress people, some of these senators own these dispensaries, or they own a percentage of a dispensary because they're making money. Because that's always going to be the way it is with Congress. They got their fingers in everything. They invest just like everybody else invests in stuff. So this is something I'm pretty sure they got their hands in. But to wrap this up real quickly, do I think this is going to pass? I absolutely do, because it's not changing the law to make drugs, medical marijuana, legal federally. It's only changing the laws to make it so veterans can be used as a case study to see if medical marijuana really works for pain or for whatever issues they got going on, whether it's oils or brownies or whatever edibles you want to come up with. They're going to do a study. And that's one of the first things this bill said. They're going to do a study after 2 years of enacting this bill and being watched closely by doctors, how well this works, if it works. And then they're going to revisit it later on. Like I said, this is no different to me than compensated work therapy, where they're calling it therapy, but you're actually really working. We got here from Barry. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner sits on the board of big marijuana companies. Like I said, man, like I said, bro, this is a money grab for some of the Congress people, without a doubt. They're looking at more ways to making money. This way, they're going to make it legal, and they're going to use the VA system to make it legal. Not that I think a lot of veterans are going to complain at all about getting, medical marijuana from the VA if this passes. But again, that is a big if it passes. The only other thing I want to mention real quick that this was just breaking news, and K-Mac just sent me this. from breaking news where I think it was the police officers are now allowed to sue former President Trump for January 6th. Let's make sure I'm telling you that right. Yeah, the Justice Department says police can sue Trump over January 6th. That was just announced. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be facing some lawsuits, but what comes of it, who knows? Who knows? What's going on, Howard? I just sent you that link, man, on WhatsApp as well, so you can take a look at it and read it. But I thought this was an interesting topic. I know a lot of people, including my dad, smoke literally 6-7 times a day. I was just never into it. I've never been into doing any type of drugs like this at all. But it seems to help some people. I don't know if it's helping them because it might be altering them mentally from feeling a certain type of way, takes the pain away that way. It kind of calms things down. I don't know. I've never done it, but I just thought I'll bring this bill up, give everybody the opportunity to read this bill, kind of go over it again on Saturday to get everybody's thoughts on it who actually read the bill. You can read the whole bill if you would like to. It's pretty long, but this is just a short snippet of it to give you guys a quicker look at what the bill's about and get your thoughts on it on Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you guys then. But that's going to be it for this video, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody watching as always. Again, the link to this bill is the first comment here in the chat. You want to link onto that and go there and read it for yourself. Other than that, guys, that's going to be it. Hey, I appreciate everybody watching as always. And until the next time, guys, I'm out. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.